In their GE14 manifesto, Pakatan Harapan pledged to fulfill 10 tasks within their first 100 days in office. Now that we've reached the end of the timeline, let's take a look to see how the new government has fared. Promise number 1. Abolish the goods and services tax and take steps to reduce cost of living. Many say this promise made Pakatan's race for Putrajaya, and they have delivered on this. In June, the government imposed a 3-month tax holiday. Everything that was subject to GST became zero rated. Last week, the Dewan Raya abolished GST, but it also passed the sales and services tax, which will be implemented soon. Promise number 2. Stabilize petrol prices and introduce targeted subsidies. The government has delivered on the first half of this. In June, the Finance Ministry announced that RON 95 petrol and diesel prices will be fixed for the rest of the year. RON 97 prices will be floated weekly. The ministry says it is studying a mechanism for targeted fuel subsidy in the meantime. Promise number 3. Abolish unnecessary debts that have been imposed on Felda settlers. There's nothing on this yet, so let's move on. Promise number 4. EPF contributions for housewives. The plan was for 2% to be taken out of husbands' EPF contributions and put into their wives' accounts. On top of that, the government will contribute 50 ringgit per month. However, progress hit some snags. The Women, Family and Community Development Minister says the plan can only commence after the EPF Act has been amended. There's also a disclaimer. The 50 ringgit contributions are only for first wives and not second, third and fourth ones. Promise number 5. Minimum wage increase. The Human Resources Minister said earlier this month that the wage increase rate will be finalized by the first week of August. We are still waiting to hear on that. Promise number 6. Postpone PT-PTN repayment for graduates earning below 4,000 ringgit a month and abolish blacklisting policy for defaulters. Half of this has been fulfilled. Loan defaulters have received a clean immigration slate. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry says that a mechanism to defer repayments is being studied. Promise number 7. Set up Royal Commissions of Inquiry on 1MDB, Felda, Mara, Tabung Haji and reform governance of these bodies. You must have seen the headlines over the past few months. The new government is going full throttle on its probe into the 1MDB scandal. The super yacht Equanimity is now docked in Port Klang, and former Prime Minister Najib Razak has been charged in court twice. Nothing yet on Felda, Mara and Tabung Haji though. Promise number 8. Set up a special cabinet committee to properly enforce the Malaysia Agreement of 1963. The cabinet has agreed to set up the committee, and that's all we've got so far. Promise number 9. Introduce Skim Peduli Sehat with 500 ringgit worth of funding for the B40 group for basic treatments in registered private clinics. The Health Ministry says a task force has been set up to lay the groundwork for introducing the scheme. The scheme has not been implemented yet, but they do have a nice website. Go check it out. Last but not least, promise number 10. Initiate a comprehensive review of all mega projects that have been awarded to foreign countries. This one got some of our neighbours worried. Not long after it came into power, the government shelved the MRT3, HSR and ECRL projects. The HSR and ECRL involve Singapore and China respectively. All these projects have been put under review until further notice. There you have it, an update on Pakatan Harapan's 10 pledges. How do you think they have performed? Let us know on the comment section below.